breaking news in the NFL happened. The Ravens have signed Le'Veon Bell.
Yep.
And
breaking news.
That is
I think
news.
it's a big story. And for the record, during the show when it happened, I went on fantasy and I picked up Le'Veon Bell as quickly as I can. So hopefully he's on my team by the time this recording is done. But Le'Veon Bell on the Baltimore Ravens, what do you expect? We know with the Jets, he got that big contract. He didn't play well. You can say it was the offensive line or Adam Gase. And then he went to Kansas City, and after he left, he talked bad about Andy Reid. And now he's in Baltimore, and Baltimore originally was a team that wanted to sign him in free agency back in 2018. So what does he bring to Baltimore?
Well, obviously he brings his pass catching. He's still a really solid runner, so he brings that all-around running back game. I just think somebody who struggled in the Andy Reid offenses, especially with Pat Mahomes, it's kind of like it brings like a what happened scenario. But, being as if Baltimore just lost one of their running backs for the season, Lamar Jackson's going to have a guy where he could dink and dive to. I think Le'Veon can definitely put up some solid numbers with Baltimore and definitely help the team.
I'm not thinking much of this move personally. If he can't thrive in Kansas City, I'm not sure how he's going to thrive in Baltimore.
Yeah.
I understand
Two
that.
different offenses.
For sure, because one's much more run heavy. Regardless of that fact, Le'Veon was put in a really good situation in Kansas City. If he would have showed me something, anything, I would be more inclined to think, you know what, I like this a lot for him. It definitely fits his play style a lot more. But for the fact that he was insignificant shouldn't even been on the field last season with Kansas City, that's why I'm not in love with this move. I do believe Gus Edwards is good enough to be the primary back. I do expect them to not split carries, but I think that Le'Veon's going to still take some touches away from him. With a name like Le'Veon Bell, you still earn yourself a few touches a game, but I don't think it's going to be significant enough where Le'Veon Bell is going to be an impact player.
So you think Gus Edwards is still going to get that nod to be RB1?
I would say it's like 70-30.
I hope so because I have him in my fantasy.
Yep.
So I hope Gus Edwards does get the nod, but that's why I picked up Le'Veon Bell, just in case I have both Ravens running backs.
You're going to lose.
I'm going to lose?
Yeah.
My team is way better than yours.
Not even close.
It's way better than yours.
Stop it.
You don't even have a quarterback.
We should have did a fantasy segment.
Who doesn't have a quarterback? Stop saying that.
You don't have a quarterback.
I do.
Oh, he doesn't have a second quarterback.
Yeah, stop saying I don't have a quarterback.
But you did take Josh Allen over Mahomes. Just letting the people at home know that. You're wild.
Listen. Before I saw the projected points. It put Allen over Mahomes.
I mean, I have Justin Herbert,
because he could run.
Jalen Hurts, and Zach Wilson.
He could run. That's what put.
I got Mahomes and Lamar, so you guys are playing checkers. I'm playing chess.
And I got Darren Waller, and I got CMC.
That's cool.
Yeah, I got my roster stacked, man. I'm gonna win it all.
I'm gonna lose.
But on to Le'Veon Bell. The way his career is went is sad because
it's your fault.
When he signed with the Jets, I thought that we were gonna turn our franchise around, and Le'Veon Bell is going to be a huge part of that culture shift. When he was with the Jets, he was a great leader for us. He was a great guy in the media. He was great in the locker room. A lot of our players liked him as a guy, as a person, which is why I had high hopes for him. And even in his first year with the Jets, considering it was with Adam Gase and that horrible offensive line, 789 yards rushing, 3.2 yards per carry, and 3 touchdowns isn't extremely bad for a guy playing in such a bad offense.
I mean, but it's Le'Veon Bell, bro.
3 point how many?
3.2
how
yards
many touchdowns?
Three touchdowns. But every single play from us was a halfback dive.
Yeah, right up the middle.
There was no versatility in Adam Gase's play calling.
Agreed.
In 2020, the Jets released him, and then Kansas City picked him up. In Kansas City, he averaged 4 yards per carry. Even though he didn't get much opportunity, he still averaged 4 yards per carry. And I think with the Baltimore Ravens, he has a chance to revive his career. And I'm a guy that I like to give dudes second chances, man. Whenever we do a segment on somebody whose career has went south, I always say I think they'll revive their career. Some guys.
Isn't this his third chance, though?
But how old is he now? 32?
He's 29. Yeah.
What?
He's 29 still.
Young boy. Isn't that the ending?
We signed him when he was 26.
Yep.
The Jets
Isn't that the
did.
ending of a running back's career?
It's
or
29, 30.
It's post 30.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I'm always going to say I think guys have a chance to revive their careers. I did it with Mr. Trubisky. I believe it somewhat. I do believe
You
it.
should have said Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah,
Then I would have.
Yeah.
You should
I mean,
start
I
with
did
that
it.
one.
I did
Mitch
it.
Trubisky.
I did it with a lot of guys. Ryan Tannehill. This year, My money's on Jameis Winston. I've been saying that about Jameis since last year, so hopefully that comes out to be true. Le'Veon Bell, Baltimore, their running scheme with Greg Roman. Greg Roman is one of the most brilliant run game coordinators in the NFL, and he's the offensive coordinator for the Ravens. And I think with a guy like Le'Veon Bell, he's going to finally be able to play his play style, because with the Jets, and I even made a video about this because I wanted to try out YouTube years ago, and I made a video about Le'Veon Bell to the Jets. And I talked about how I don't think it's going to work because Pittsburgh always had a top offensive line. Le'Veon Bell's running style is a patient running style. So with an offensive line that is always collapsing, Le'Veon doesn't have time to be patient. Kansas City, say what you want about their firepower on offense. The offensive line last year wasn't very good. Le'Veon didn't have time to be patient in that offensive scheme. Now with Baltimore, Greg Roman, his misdirection in his play callings. They signed Kevin Zeitler, Alejandro Villanueva. They have Ben Powers and Ronnie Stanley.
Lost Orlando Brown.
Yeah, they lost Orlando Brown. They traded him to the Chiefs. But their offensive line, I think, is going to be better. Since Marshall Yanda left, they have been trying to fill that hole at guard. And I think with Kevin Zeitler, they did it. He's not Yanda, but he's also a former Pro Bowler. Kevin Zeitler is good. Also, Bradley Bozeman and Ben Powers. I like this offensive line group. So with the Ravens, I think Le'Veon Bell can make an impact. I think they will do a running back by committee. He won't be the workhorse, and I hope that's the case because Gus Edwards, I have him on my fantasy, and hopefully nobody steals Le'Veon Bell from me because if I have Le'Veon and Gus Edwards, I got the best of both worlds. I can go either way.
So what do you think? Yeah, you're out or in?
I already spoke.
I guess.
I'm not really.
The one thing I will say is O-line, it still scares me. Kevin Zeitler wasn't that successful on the Giants. You're right. He's not a bad replacement.
It's
he
Baltimore,
is a former pro bowler.
So it's like if he ain't gonna revive his career here, it's over.
That's what I'm saying. And truthfully, I don't think that, given the fact that one, he is a patient running back, and two, he is the pass catching type running back, it could benefit Lamar because obviously Lamar hasn't really had a check down running back yet into his career. Dobbins was going to be a potential suitor for that position, but obviously he goes down with the season-ending injury. Gus Edwards is more through the tackles type running back. Le'Veon really gives them that type of option. So I can see your point there, and the O-line's not going to be as essential given the fact that, one, you have to scheme for Lamar Jackson ultimately. So that type of misdirection, You're 100% right there.
And they also lost Justice Hill.
No, for
so
sure.
With Justice Hill, J.K.
Achilles.
Dobbins out, it's Gus Edwards and it's Le'Veon Bell pretty much.
Help me out. Williams, Latrell?
Tyson Williams. Tyson Williams.
So he's still going to be in that cloud of potential touches, especially if Le'Veon comes out and he's not really showing you anything. He hasn't had a training camp. He just signed with Baltimore, so he's going to need a few weeks to get his legs underneath him. So if anything, it's not going to be an immediate impact. Maybe we're looking at week 2, week 3. I'm more confident in week 3. But I understand your point. I just think that Le'Veon right now in his point in his career, I just think that his time's past due. And with the Le'Veon that we have become accustomed to is not the one that we're going to be seeing for the future. Le'Veon Bell is one of the more talented backs we've ever seen in this league, and I'm not going to take that away from him. I love watching him play. It is sad what happened to him, but I just think that in this current moment in time that it's over.